It is a clay sculpture of what looks like a frog with a painted grin and bright eyes, and it looks to be a doorway with stairs that lead towards its belly.
Captured guests, by what pleasure do we have your presence in Donglongo?
King Grog is... I fear he's been taken by madness, and has for some time.
In preparation for tonight's fake great ritual to summon Nang Nang, the goddess, and hopefully convince King Grok that she's real.
Okay. This ain't gonna go well.
So, as you guys have all been forced into this kind of shallow pit, maybe about 6 or 7 feet below, and given a perimeter of guards to keep watch, you all steadily try and find yourself some level of comfort within this area. There are patches of some kind of moldy moss that softens a bit of the hard-packed dirt, and some of the dirt could be a little soft if you were to dig below a bit, but nevertheless, it's not the most comfortable place that you've slept in. But the guards are set there, and rest can be taken. So,
Long rest?
long rest. You'll awaken deep into the evening.
I'm out. Good day. Good night.
Yeah. Jamila snuggles up like 1 inch next to Nhu and just shuts her eyes.
Is this the kind of sleep that if we take a watch, then we can still get a full rest?
If you take a watch, one of you won't get a full rest because it'll be probably close to midnight by the time the full rest ends.
You know, I still have that bag of just assorted animals that I could maybe have a watch with, and maybe there's another Ukam so I can help out at the end of the night. I could roll. So yeah, I'll go. I'll reach into my tan bag of tricks. I got a 4.
Got a 4. As you reach into the bag and grab a hold of something solid, you pull it out, and you are met with a large cluster of feathers and wings that, as you see what appears to be a large billed bird-like creature, but the bill itself is hooked on 2 ends and almost bladed at the front. You've pulled an axe beak from the bag.
Cool.
Which is currently now, as you're clutching the back of its feathers, and it's
Hey, Axebeak, Axel for short. Watch us while we sleep, please.
Roll an animal handling check.
Okay. That's, it's good. 16 plus 7. Maths.
All right, great. Not a problem. So you calm it down after its sudden freaking out, and then as it sits there and kind of perches up, you just pass right out?
Yeah.
It kind of sits back and looks uncomfortably at Archon.
I just have like smoke come out of the left nostril. And then I go to sleep.
Okay. You all eventually find yourselves at rest, as comfortable as it can be. And it's not the best sleep you've had. There are a few moments where a noise or some sort of a loud croak around the perimeter of the pit will kind of rouse you for a moment, and you kind of grumble and roll back over again. You can feel the kinks beginning to build up across your spine from the, not very good down-like comforter that you may be used to back home in Waterdeep. Eventually, you begin to hear these rhythmic drums that bring you all out of your sleep. And as your eyes open, it is dark all around you. You see very, very faint flicker of what appears to be torture firelight that's just framing some of the guards in the perimeter of the pit. And in the distance, you hear the boom, 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 boom. You can see the axe beak is now somewhat also sleeping, and it's kind of curled up.
I fucked up.
And as soon as you rouse, its eye goes dink.
Awesome. We're up.
Okay.
As you guys stand and you get a little bit of view, you can see now the large clay temple, the frog structure, is lit up. There are a circle of torches around the outside of the water pit that it's currently built upon, the small island that it rests on, lighting it from underneath. You now can see that some of the paints that were made to paint this structure seem to have some sort of a glow-in-the-dark element to them, like it just absorbs light through the day, and as it goes through the evening, it glows in these stripes. Now, previously, it looked like varying colors and some cool designs. You can see now it is just a pattern of knotted, intricate lines that just interweave and cover the entire thing. It's beautiful for creatures that seem so, primal and feral in some instances. The guards immediately go. One of them kind of takes a little stick and the edge of its spear and pokes at your shoulder, and you see them giving the motion to get out.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Meanie. And can I put the axe beak on my shoulder?
Sure.
Come here, little guy.
Even for a bird, it's,
Big?
fairly heavy. Yeah, it is a large beast. So putting it on your shoulder is not going to be recommended.
Shit. Can I ride the axe beak? I mean, is it like an ostrich big?
No, it's a flying bird.
So can I fly with the axe beak?
You can try.
Nah, I'll chill. I'll chill for now. It's still early in the day.
So as you go over to hey, no, that's probably a bad idea. And it kind of saunters up to you.
Come here, little buddy.
It kind of takes off into the air for a minute and is just kind of flying there overhead. You can see some of the grungs around the outskirts see this happening, kind of and get their short bows ready and are just trained on it as it's in the sky. And it starts going back. There's this moment of tension between the two.
Oh shit. Can I use my rope of entanglement to just wrap it up from my hand to its perceived neck so they know it's with me, it's cool, it's chill?
Sure. So the second time you've spooked the axe beak, but as suddenly a rope tethers itself around its throat and kind of pulls it down a few feet to your height, but it kind of realizes the circumstance best that it can as you kind of calm it with a gaze. And acknowledging it to the rest of the grung guards, they all lower their bows and still tense with their black kind of slightly glass skin covered eyes, occasionally So, as you guys step out of the pit one by one, you watch as two orange-fleshed guards approach with their kind of hide armor, blades at the side, and in between them, you see the robed, red-skinned grung from earlier, the one that met with you. She approaches and kind of motions for the guards to separate.
Well, I cast tongues
Okay.
a minute ago.
Okay.
Before she walked.
Before she walked out.
Yeah,
So while you guys hear that, you hear,
Come, there are preparations to be made.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right. Should we try to convince her that this is the? Are we still going to stick to what we were talking about, or what are we thinking? Well, let's go with her, and then we'll follow her.
okay.
We've got options.
You guys follow her back to the same larger ceremonial tent that she originally had spoken to you in. And as you enter, you can see she has the paints already prepared. There's 4 different vials of them. She has brushes that are, hand cobbled together from thin brush, dried fronds and whatever else was available in twine, keeping it together. It's basic, but it functions. You can also see that she has a number of robes. It might be a bit small for you, but it's what they had, that are of a kind of a tannish white color. And as she kind of grabs them and hands them out, saying,
Do your best.
hands them to you.
So it's a robe for me or for everybody?
It's a robe for everyone.
Okay, everybody.
One robe for everyone?
One robe each. This isn't like the 3 kids in a trench coat circumstance.
She
Unless
said
you
do
wanted
her
to.
best when she handed these to me, but doesn't seem like she has much confidence. We'll see.
Yeah. So as you pass out the robes, they fit most of you snugly. Calliope, better than most. It's a rough one. Pretty comfortable, pretty tight on you. You, it's more like an apron.
Summon the toad.
How insightful are you, Calliope?
That's a good question. Oh no, not very at all.
Do we just want to maybe feel this woman out and make sure we've allied with the right side here?
Yeah,
That's
I've
a
got
good idea.
I mean, we can't understand her, but I rolled on that king and
Right.
I got a sense of it, so I don't know.
Do you have a high insight?
Not particularly.
Mine is 8.
That's great.
That's
Yeah, dude.
You're the guy.
Can I take
What's your insight? What are you thinking?
Oh, I don't know. She seems single and available, and I'm in love with her, and I hope she comes with
Insight
us.
for one purpose.
Is that something I roll on?
Yeah, you'd roll a d20 and add your insight if you're checking to see if she's in the level.
Yeah. 8 plus 8, 16.
Okay. The Krook, the cleric, seems frenetic, and there's a desperation in the eyes. Kind of that idea that the moment is nigh, we have to prepare as soon as possible. You don't sense any dire undertones to it, more than just a hurried, we don't have long.
Does anyone have good religion check? Because, I mean, are we 100% sure that, I mean, I think maybe we're imprinting the thought that this is gonna be a frog goddess because we see a lot of frogs, but potentially it comes out and it's nothing like a frog.
Maybe ask if the priestess knows what she's supposed to look like.
If there's some sort of interspecies love going on here.
Exactly.
Maybe he just likes red.
We just
We're
assumed it was a frog.
Yeah. So what is she? What are we calling her?
Nyang Nyang.
I'm not gonna.
Obviously.
That's what you get.
No, not the priestess. What are we calling the goddess?
Queen.
The goddess
queen.
is Nyang.
The queen.
Oh,
The priestess is
right.
Krook.
Krook.
Hey, so Krook, what am I asking her? What does she look like? We're assuming she was a like you, frog person.
Wow. You're just gonna say that?
Take it back.
I was frozen, remember? I don't know how people talk anymore. I'm not super
politically
PC. I was frozen in the 90s.
So, the priestess kind of looks to you and goes,
The myths speak of a great frog structure. Arms long, face and mouth wide. Beautiful as she is terrible.
Frog structure. What? Arms as long as what? Say it again.
The myths speak of arms long, mouth wide.
Long arms, wide mouth.
Sounds like something you're able to paint. Long arms.
Like
So it's a
like
frog,
frog
though.
size or like
frog
statue size?
Frog size or statue size?
The goddess size is not presumed by us who cannot understand. The temple is built as a gift from our king.
Make the temple come alive.
The
Make
temple is
come
built
alive.
as a gift from her king. They can't assume her size.
Is it a bad idea to ask the king what he thinks she looks like?
No, that's a bad idea.
So,
What should we do?
Well, yeah, say
Well, you obviously had an idea of, you had the paint. So
what were you thinking?
show us what she looks like.
and she takes some of the paint and dabbles it, and takes a piece of wood and sets it on the table, and after about 5 minutes of drawing this kind of haphazard shape, it looks like a pile of paint. Like, you get the sense that this priestess had part of an idea and had no means of executing it. And by her artistic skills and the natural one that I just rolled, you have no inclination.
She was going to use magic with these paints, right? To
make people
this,
see what they
to scam him, right? So, and her magic isn't working. Is that what you're saying, or?
Well, at least she was trying to give a visual representation, and you could get the sense that these paints don't really function unless you can capture an image properly.
Right. Oh, and I'm supposed to do that because I'm the.
Can we just go over
But
the
how am I
print?
capturing an image when I don't even know it?
well, why don't we just paint? Why don't we just
Wide
have the
mouth.
priest,
Long arms,
priestess
wide
say
mouth.
that we have to paint the frog, and
Yeah.
we paint the frog with the magic paints.
Or we could even have the frog say it, like, paint me. I don't know. I mean, What are we trying to make the king fall in love permanently, or are we trying to make him disappointed in his actions?
Well,
And then say, never mind.
I
don't want
think
that.
the plan we're on now is we have to get the king to stop being a crazy person, so the priestess will help us find
We
the
just
lost
need
city.
to get out of here.
Yeah.
She knows where the lost city is.
Right.
We just need to get out of here. There's 100 frog people.
Right.
Maybe we beat them. Maybe we don't. It seems like we're going to take some form of casualty trying to fight 100 creatures, no matter how big they are.
What if we
need a diversion so we can out.
But basing it on this sham just feels really.
well, Utkarsh had that idea last time.
Like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna work.
Hitch had this amazing idea last time of instead of having him fall in love, having her try to convince him to go on with his life. You know, like if the madness started when she died.
That was a great idea.
Hitch was thinking.
Did we know that she died?
Yeah, she went over the veil, remember?
Is he in love with a goddess, or is he in love with his ex?
From what you've heard and ascertained from the priestess, it isn't somebody who's passed. It is a goddess of the Grung religion that this king has created this image of in his head and has grown obsessed with and wants to.
Is there a statue of the goddess?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
We need a statue. We need something.
Is there a statue of this goddess that we can see?
She kind of pulls open the threads at the front of the building and points to the large temple.
Yeah.
Bro!
Okay.
Follow my lead.
All right, summon the toad.
Temple.
All right,
Paint that.
we'll do it when the ritual's ready, I guess. I'll summon the sexiest frog you've ever seen.
We need time to paint.
Here's the question.
The frog? Are we painting the frog, or are we painting?
To look like.
Gonna paint the frog to look like the big statue.
Yes.
But then what's the role? I mean, what's the plan? What's the goddess gonna say?
Well.
Is the goddess gonna
That's up to Calliope.
be in love, or is the goddess gonna try and release
knew
it?
you were a
Calliope's
method
amazing.
female frog.
How am I going to do this?
How is this gonna work?
Perform.
No, but I mean,
sweet
am I
Jesus.
throwing my voice into her?
You're a female. You sound beautiful. You're so charismatic.
God damn you.
This is not going to
Burgle
work.
something.
You're ventriloquizing.
Oh, man. All right, we'll try it.
You're a bard. You'll figure it
He
out.
just
But what if someone sees the summoned frog before the ritual? I feel like we got to
Yeah.
summon the frog in the ritual, right?
No, we have it underneath
Why
the
are we
robe.
But
and
you-
pull the robe
Right.
up, and there it is.
Well, I guess I
Put it
just
back, I'll hide it, and then I'll throw it. It'll hop off my
tell the
back.
frog what to say, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Well, I'll just.
But what was the thing about a rope through a portal, and we're supposed to?
Yeah,
what was
right.
that?
There's a whole.
I think that was a
Figure it
metaphor.
out.
veil.
What
the
is
veil
what?
for fuck's sake.
Ask her what the king is expecting to
You have
see.
an invisibility spell.
Yeah. What does the king expect to see? He mentioned something about throwing a rope and that we're pulling this goddess through from some other dimension or something. Is that
She kind of thinks for a
the
second.
veil?
He speaks as from the realm of the gods and bringing her through to here.
Got it.
His metaphors are chaotic and ever-changing. It's part of his obsession.
How do we relieve his obsession?
I'd say fuck his obsession. Let's just try to get the info and get the hell out of here.
you
right?
have-
Like we don't got to cure the guy, do we?
Do you have invisibility?
You should have invisibility because you had it last game.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Then cast invisibility on the frog. And that way, the frog, you can make the frog hop to wherever. Once this ritual starts, we create the frog, paint the frog,
Right.
then cast the invisibility on the frog. Then when the rope goes, you make the frog hop to wherever it's supposed to show up, cancel the invisibility, boom, there's
got
the
it.
magical view of the
Okay,
frog.
can you remind me that as we're doing it?
Yes, completely.
Should we paint? Is there enough paint? Should we paint ourselves as frogs?
No.
No, because he wants us to help. Like he's
If you
expecting
want.
us.
I know.
If it is your dream,
I can go stealth.
yeah. We can have a frog on the inside.
Would I be a tall frog though, or would they see what we want them to see? I might be confused about this paint.
We only paint you from the waist down.
Yeah, wait. So
no.
the paint makes you appear as whatever your intent is behind it.
The paint is.
Yeah, that's what I'm not following.
The interpretation of it is it can range from illusion enhancement of whatever you're painting upon, or you can paint things on a structure and they become real, like a window, a door, a face.
Hey, I have major image too. Couldn't we just do?
Yes.
Can you interact with the major image?
I'm trying to see.
I mean, because he's going to want to cop a
He
feel
is.
in his frog.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we don't need it with
paint
this.
work on
We don't need it
organic?
with this. But I didn't even know I
Does the
had
paint
that.
work on an organic form?
You can ask.
Calliope,
Excuse me?
could you ask a question of frog
Sure.
priestess? Does the paint work on an organic form?
Does the paint work on an organic form?
She reaches in and puts her finger inside the open pot and pulls it out and takes it and spreads it without even asking, just right across the front of your cheeks. And at first it looks like just a white paint, and then as it sits there, it all of a sudden begins to glow with this kind of luminescent, kind of hologram-like color. And it's almost like you have these small torches on the sides of your cheek.
That's cool.
You're beautiful.
Keep that forever.
Okay. Yes.
It's gonna work.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm ready.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
This is
gonna work.
horribly
So
wrong.
nervous.
Where are we now?
You're inside the priestess's.
is our best.
It's gonna work.
Our best.
I know, Bugs
So are
Bunny
we-
dressed
Lost
up
that
as-
faith.
Guards are
Get ready
watching
to
us
say
right now?
fuck it
No,
and
guards on
start
the outside.
stabbing.
The priestess
Yeah.
made sure that you all entered by
Fails.
yourself.
Okay,
Calliope,
okay.
can you
Guards on
ask
the
her if
outside
she
of the
has
building.
any weapons
Okay.
that we could
Sexy
use?
rabbit.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Do you have any weapons that
They
we
took
can
our
use?
weapons.
Yeah, we have no weapons, right?
No, we still have
No,
our
they didn't take your weapons.
Yeah, we
You
Oh.
guys are guests.
Yeah, I wasn't giving up my weapon.
Well, maybe she's got like a magic weapon. Maybe I can get something other than daggers.
You can paint the daggers.
Can you ask her if she has a
Make them
rapier?
look like swords.
Yeah.
My daggers.
Paint your sword to look like a rapier.
Okay, well, fuck it. I'm
Will I
going to
get a
summon the
rapier?
frog then.
Let's do it.
So
Yeah.
Look like one?
Okay.
You can try.
That's a hell no.
Yeah.
All right, the frog heads up. We got 1 hour of this frog.
Okay.
Okay, let's
That's
get
it.
cracking.
Well, and only an hour of tongues too, right? So.
Well, now about
Yeah.
45
How
minutes.
long for invisibility?
Visibility lasts for up to an hour on concentration.
Okay.
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 This poor guy could make him a sexy
All right,
frog.
you
and
also
like-
have a friend,
So
don't
we're
you?
gonna have his frog, and then we're gonna. Yeah, I do
You're
have
gonna paint.
friends.
So you
Yeah,
can,
Then you pick,
so you can make him. You can convince him more.
not very many.
summon
but-
frog, paint frog,
Paint frog.
invisibility frog,
Release invisibility in front of the king. Friends.
ritual,
Right.
frog hoppy.
Right.
It's almost
Hoppy.
too
And then
simple.
cast friends on him.
Do note, and I'm going to point this out, on
no.
friends as a cantrip, when the spell ends, which is 1 minute,
Oh, that's
No, I
the
know.
creature realizes that you used magic
No,
to
he gets
influence its mood
hostile.
and becomes
Yeah, let's,
hostile
let's
towards
get
you.
friends.
Use your charisma.
Just letting
Yeah.
you
It
know.
always ends badly when you try to befriend
We'll
a
all
frog.
help.
All right, well, here goes nothing.
Ready.
Okay, here we go.
So I summon, I clasp my hands together, and I, poof, here is this very large, more like a tree frog than a toad, right? Long limbs, wide mouth, birthing hips. And it's got,
For the big eggs.
It's got a beautiful purple veil that's coming over the face, and like gypsy attire, and it's sitting cross-legged on a satin pillow.
You summoned its own Victoria's Secret wardrobe with it. That's kind
Yeah.
of amazing. All right, as you do.
It doesn't have mammary glands, but it works.
But it as it arrives, it is a heavy in the center of the room because this is a large frog. It kind of smashes into the table and the pigments tumble off.
No!
The priestess goes and grabs the pot that was open. The other three hit the ground. One of them
No!
but the other three are fine.
Okay.
And she goes, which is a curse word that you're very, very familiar with and have only heard in the darkest taverns.
Calliope.
Shitcock.
Yeah.
hate that one.
Shit, know what she said, shitcock. Sorry, guys.
That translates in any language.
Said shitcock to everybody.
You hear a guard's voice
Mouth
outside
of a
go,
sailor.
and she goes,
You must hurry.
and she looks over at the frog and goes,
We must hurry.
Ugh.
pats you on the shoulder.
Oh,
Okay, let's
you
get
know
to
what that
painting.
means in any language.
Good job.
Good luck, asshole.
Okay.
Now we gotta paint this
Paint
thing,
frog.
right?
Yes.
Phase
So,
2.
is it just
Yep.
you, or is anybody helping you?
Who else has performance?
Oh, somebody help him. Yeah.
Anybody-
This just,
I've got a 3.
You got a 3? I mean, if you can aid him and give him an advantage
Well,
on
I
the roll.
can-
Anybody else?
we're all leaning
Yeah,
over
I'll
his
aid
shoulder.
him.
We're leaning over
So we'll
his
give you
shoulder.
advantage on the roll. You're all helping.
Oh, you fucking
Advantage.
kidding me?
You get advantage.
You can roll again, see if it's higher. See if it's advantage.
Okay.
with moral support.
Not much.
7
terrible.
plus...
Yeah, 7 plus 6, right?
seven
The
plus six.
performance?
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, 13.
You're 7 plus 7. Oh wait, no.
I
Well, you
rolled
got
7.
advantage. You
Oh,
rolled
yeah.
7 the first time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. And then I've got a 7 on it. So.
Okay, so 14. Okay.
Yeah.
So with the help of your friends, you very quickly over the
Barely.
next 5 or so minutes begin to draw these streaks
You
across
gotta roll for me.
across the frog's body, and with each shriek you watch as the line kind of flares brightly with this kind of multicolored prismatic light. It's like drawing a neon across the outside of its body.
Okay. And then I'm looking at the statue to make her look, Froggy look like the statue, right?
Yeah. So you're kind of occasionally glancing out, kind of
Yeah.
look there, look back, and you're going quickly, but because you have experience and kind of a knack for these sort of things, though you don't like to admit it, you eventually mimic to your best ability the various signs, the various lines, and the patterns from
Okay.
the large structure onto the frog.
And is there paint on the ground that broke?
There is. It's a pile of it right there, and you watch as it kind of fills in for a second. It goes dark.
Well, I was gonna say, so are my
So you
cheeks
can't
still
rub around
glowing?
in it?
You want to put your hand?
Can I put? It was the paint. Does it still work?
Well, as you look down where the paint spilled and went outward, it just turned black.
So that's a no.
Do we need it? Is it
There are other pots. There's actually,
Yeah, right?
between the paint that you used to go through this and everything, you finished one pot. There's 2 that are still unopened.
Okay. So if it, that's a shame. I
Well-
really wanted to rub my hands in it and put it on my face.
You can touch my cheeks. What was this? Because I'm curious if it might wear off. So if my cheeks are still glowing, as long as we see it glowing, we know it's still, the paint has like a life cycle.
That's true.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
What's
Okay,
more
so we'll keep
important,
an
the paint or the frog or the performance? I mean, like,
Probably.
is the performance more important than the paint? Does the paint make the frog goddess?
We're stacking the deck.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
we're
it's all important.
giving
Yeah, let's
ourselves
keep
as
going.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Frog painted. Phase 3. Invisibility.
The frog's painted.
Okay, yeah.
Good job, Calliope.
I cast invisibility on the frog.
Frog looks really happy.
Alrighty. The frog then vanishes. It's like it's this glorious like
Oh wait,
haloed creature,
So
and then it,
how are we gonna handle it? Who's gonna move the frog? You're gonna.
I communicate
Oh, yeah, right,
telepathically
gotcha.
to the frog.
Go,
If
okay.
there's any remaining paint, I want to dip my hands in it and rub it on my face.
You're obsessed.
I am. I really want to.
the pile on the ground.
No, if there's any left in some pots. I feel like the pile on the ground is going to burn me.
The one that you guys used is there's some dregs in the bottom you could probably use. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I do.
Okay, so you take some and you put it on your cheeks. Yeah. As you glance down, the pile on the ground where it spilled, you look and you can see it's a hole.
Okay.
The opening of it just created a hole below
And
it.
then my hands fall off. My face peels off. Sorry, I died. Okay.
So you they're the 2 unopened pots there. You guys leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. The priestess now kind of ushers open the streams of cloth and material at the doorway, and there outside you can see once again the torches glowing, but more have been lit and planted, and there's now what looks to be a pathway that leads to the temple. The drums are getting louder, and you start hearing this sort of weird rhythmic singing, this it's kind of beating with the rhythm of the music, and you can see the entire city's out here. And what you thought was 100, maybe it's more closer to like 150 of these frogs in total that have all gathered in a large cluster around the front of the shrine. And their arms are in the air and they're waving to the rhythm of the beat. The light's just kind of glowing off of all of these glimmering, almost wet-looking heads. And at the very, very top of this shrine temple at the stairs, you can see the corpulent form of King Grok there, just with his arms together, his fingers crossed, looking up to the sky and turning and looking back up at the top of the shrine and opening his arms there. The priestess turns.
Now's the time, if ever. Come.
And she hops along.
Now's the time. We'll follow her.
She starts shouting off to you, or she hurries back and whispers,
The ritual is to take place within the shrine.
The ritual's supposed to take place within the shrine.
The pool with the fungus.
The pool with the fungus.
That's where she's supposed to come through.
Oh, so we gotta have her come out through the pool.
Heck yeah.
Have her emerge. So
That's
we'll put
gonna
her
make a
in.
splash.
No, if you put her in the pool while she's invisible,
She's
then
gonna
I'll have her.
tiptoe in.
Just have her sit.
You worry about it. I'll make her
Sit on the edge of the
visible.
pool, and when it's time, she'll jump in.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
And then
invisible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
what he said.
Not
Okay.
bad.
all right.
I
Better.
like that we can talk and they don't know what we're saying.
Yeah.
The priestess is now leaping ahead as you follow, and the entire populace of Dunglunglung is out here chanting the music, but you can watch the heads kind of turning and acknowledging you as you walk by. Many of them haven't even seen you yet, or they did see you from a distance and they were unsure, and this even gives like a weird tension to the audience, but they're more caught up in the presentation of this ritual and the preparation for it. You gather their fear of King Grog's wrath is probably far stronger than their fear of outsiders.
How many of them are there?
From what you can see, at quick glance, anywhere from like 130 to 150. You make it to the bottom of the stairs where the priestess seems to have stopped and put her arms out, and you can see King Grog turn around and what you hear as
The time is nigh.
The time is nigh.
The ritual, the great ritual, will now commence.
The great ritual will now commence. And then he goes, "Rah."
and he then steps into the shrine. It echoes through the hollow interior of the chamber. The lights that light the eyes suddenly flicker out, and all the chanting stops. Oh, great Nyang Nyang, we beseech you to grant this your final journey into our home. Sploosh! There is a large splash of water that just scatters liquid across all of you and all the rest of the rungs around. And at that moment, you see before you a bright, sparking light, and there in the center of the pool is a large frog emblazoned with sparkling arcane energy and light.